Yo, man. What's up, bro? You want a preview of like a fucking patrons only show, bitch? I'll get it to you. Here, check it out. This is our episode from last Friday about Mexico.
So let's talk a little bit about healthcare.
These people fat, and they from Mexico. Therefore, all Mexicans are fat.
Fat people.
So, with almost 50% of Mexico's population considered to be poor,
That's really bad.
it's the malnourished that are becoming obese.
Yeah.
Kind of crazy.
Diabetes and cardiovascular illnesses are on the increase. Plus-size clothing fills the racks in stores, and Mexicans just keep eating. The crisis disproportionately hits the poor and the young. This is just due to the fact that it's expensive to buy fresh food, and it's very cheap to buy fast food and greasy food from taco stalls and fast food joints.
Plus, their food is fucking amazing.
Right.
So
Can't blame them.
Weight-related diabetes claims the most Mexican lives. That's another thing, too. Sugar in everything. Everything
God.
is sugary sweet. Everything is, all their drinks are filled to the brim with just sugar.
That's why people buy Mexican Cokes now instead of buying American
dude.
Cokes,
so much
dude.
better. So much better. Oh, my God.
It is.
So 1 in 6 Mexican adults suffers from weight-related diabetes.
Damn, that's fucking insane. 1 in 6?
Yeah, according to these numbers, around 70% of Mexican adults are considered overweight, and 32.8% of those are obese.
Damn, they're a contender for fattest country, like right there with us.
At the time that this was written, we seem to be trading back and forth with them.
Yeah, we're
at the
fucking
time
close.
that this article that I pulled for was written, which was not that long ago, the U.S. obesity rate was slightly below that, so Mexico was leading.
Oh, damn.
Look
at Mexico, man.
While. Our obesity rate at the time of this article was 31.8%.
People in this country, I have a plea to people right now, eat more. Are they going to let Mexico beat us in being fat? I think fucking not!
Hell no.
Less than a month ago, the American Medical Association classified obesity as a disease, finally.
Wow.
So that was just a little
Duh.
factoid. Mexico blames increasingly industrialized agricultural production for a worldwide epidemic of both obesity and malnutrition. I kind of blame the fact that their income and distribution is horrible, but whatever.
Well, and the fact that you get people to buy processed food as opposed to buying, like you said, it's like, you can buy a potato, but potato chips, and you get people hooked on this shit. And I mean, obviously the profit goes way up. You sell a fucking potato, a bag of potatoes is what, $3 or $4?
Right.
What's a bag of potato chips? $3 or $4 for fucking.
Dude, check this out.
Yep.
Fat
12
man drinks
ounces.
so many energy drinks, he dies.
So for a while, the world's fattest man was in Mexico.
Whoa.
He was almost 1,000 pounds at his heaviest.
Whoa.
And as he went and got surgery in Mexico to get it fixed, and as he started to lose weight, he found he needed more energy, so he started pounding energy drinks. And the doctors think that's probably what killed him, because he was rapidly losing weight. So a quote here, as an obese man, although he was losing weight and was starting to move, exposing yourself to a stimulant can cause an irregular heartbeat, and that or a heart attack can lead to death. He drank more than 6 energy drinks a day, according to his family, and we believe it could be a lot more than 6.
Holy shit, dude.
That's all much.
That's
So-
like what fucking, depending on what he's drinking, that's like 300 or 400 milligrams of caffeine. I mean, that's like fucking 2,400 milligrams of caffeine.
Yeah, your heart's already being strained by rapid weight loss too.
When you have he had heart disease for sure, and if your heart it twists and contracts to try to pump all that blood, I mean, he just had his heart going on overload. You know what I mean?
Right.
That's insane.
So if you would have told me that this story came out of America, I would have just immediately believed you. But this is, the same kind of crisis happening. Like I said, we just keep trading the fattest nation status back and forth, as far as I can see.
So it's a fucking race.
So it's a
war.
horse race. It really is. How fat can we get? How much fatter than Mexico can we be? How much less fat than Mexico
You know
can
what
we be?
Mexico needs to do? We have in this country we have a show called My 600-Pound Life. Mexico needs to debut My 700-Pound Life.
But
yeah.
really, I think Mexico's eventually going to overtake us on this one because there's really no culture of exercise at all in Mexico. It's not to say that there are no gyms. It's just like, you know how it exists here, this drive to go to the gym?
Yeah.
That does not exist in Mexico. And I looked up and learned that the Mexican metabolism is just naturally slower than most people's. So they burn calories at a lower rate, which means that they're far more susceptible to this than people of other genetic groups. So I think the Mexicans, in the long run, they're going to win this horse race.
They got all the advantages in the world.
Yeah, they don't have any of the regulations. Nobody's trying to take sugar out of things. In fact, Mexico just seems to be dumping more sugar on its populace.
More sugar.
So they're heading in the direction to
Fuck we're gonna do,
absolutely
guys?
destroy us.
Okay,
here.
so here's what we got to do if we really want to win this one. I'm going to fucking be the general on this. I'll tell you what we got to do.
Uh-huh.
So first of all these, like, diet things, they got to go. We got to fucking start upping our sugar intake.
Right. We got to bring Mexican Cokes and make those American Cokes
Yeah.
again.
In fact, we should
Real sugar.
We should fucking make our Cokes so fucking sweet that Mexican Coke tastes bitter in our mouths.
Yeah. Yeah, it tastes like piss water.
Do we need
Yeah.
to call on our great leader, the President of the United States?
I
to
want our
fucking-
Cokes so fucking sugary that it's basically like sludge.
Well, one thing too, TJ, is education. We gotta get kids young, so we gotta redo the food pyramid. We gotta put like junk food at the bottom of it.
Okay,
like,
so
you need this the
Here's
most.
what we're gonna do. We're gonna fucking let McDonald's and Burger King and Taco Bell and all the 10 most major fast food chains of America. We're gonna let them, with no oversight, rewrite the food pyramid.
I'm in favor of this.
We just need to rescind that law that they have to put calories next to shit.
Oh yeah. Well, you know what we'll do? We'll keep the calorie counters on products, but we'll allow companies to lie.
Or we'll just quietly change what a calorie is
Yeah.
and fudge the numbers. You know what I
Maybe
mean?
like so from now on, like an
So somebody
Oreo
will look
is
at
be
it-
like,
Dude, we'll have health meters though.
Yeah.
We'll have little cartoon characters, like a smiley face on a pack of Oreos, like good health choice.
Yeah,
But you
we
know what
just
we need to do,
drop
too?
2 zeros off of the hundreds.
So-
A fucking Oreo is 2 calories now.
Damn,
yeah.
really?
We need to start
Give
encouraging
me one.
people to just use wheelchairs, whether they have problems or not.
Right.
And we need to start really pushing the idea that fat is like the sexiest thing. Like it's a status symbol to be fat again, and the fatter you are, the greater your status in society, and like really start stigmatizing skinniness.
I'm with it.
And like every time there's a skinny person around, like it's like okay to like openly mock and make fun of them and
Well, of
deride them and shit.
Why not?
You got to have that going on.
Dude, there could be reality shows around like how
We should
skinny...
even have, like, a few
Dude, no,
cases-
dude, TJ, I have it, dude. Skinny people that have to get fat, like they have an intervention in someone's life. It's like Greg only weighs 155 pounds. He's emaciated. And they have like an intervention. They have like the fucking psychologist talk to him. They have put him on like
Yeah.
a 9,000
Look at how
calorie.
disgusting this is.
Yeah,
we
like-
can see your muscles.
Have like Dr. Phil being like, "Why won't you eat?" And all this shit.
Why won't you eat?
this big flabby ass Dr. Phil.
Jabba the Phil.
Have the fucking fat Olympics, dude. The slowest time instead of the fastest.
But, we're kind of looking at, we looked at some economic indicators that Mexico's beating Canada on.
Yeah.
But certainly, and I didn't know this really, certainly Canada's got Mexico beat in terms of providing universal health care. Am I wrong?
One would think.
Would you assume this?
I would assume it.
I'd assume
Gotta
it.
be honest with you. I don't give Canada
assume it
credit for
real
much,
good.
but I think most Canadians have health coverage, probably more than Mexico.
Well, that may be true, but it is also not disputed that Mexico does have true universal health care.
Wow.
Does that blow your mind?
Not really.
It's true.
I mean, every
It
other
seems
country, pretty much anytime I hear any country has it, other than us, I believe it because
Yeah.
it just makes way more sense. I don't know why we're such a stubborn, stupid fucking country.
So Mexico's Seguro Popular provides unemployed and poor Mexicans with access to preventative health care services such as diabetes screening and vaccinations, as well as treatment for chronic and severe illness. Enrollees don't have to pay a fee at the time of the doctor visit.
Dude, even a fucking society where 50% of the people are living in fucking poverty and economic inequality is even worse than it is here, even those motherfuckers get health care. What
Yep.
the fuck?
Come
on, America.
The poorest families pay nothing to join Seguro Popular.
Right.
And the rest pay a premium based on their income.
So you
So if
basically
you make enough money to
you
pay
pay
for it,
based on how much money you have.
exactly.
Okay.
If you make enough to pay for it, you're charged, but it's way below the cost of our healthcare.
Right.
Which is one of the reasons why I didn't pull much about it, but Americans actually flock to Mexico for surgical procedures.
Yeah, they do.
And India too.
And medicines as well.
I mean, people buy prescription drugs on both sides of the border, Canada and Mexico, just because.
Prices they pay are way
I mean, the
less.
price. Does any country pay more than America for prescription drugs?
I don't think so.
I don't believe it.
There's countries that might be close to us, but I don't think there's anyone that surpasses us.
Yeah, it's ridiculous here. Same drugs.
So by 2013, the number of enrollees in Seguro Popular had grown to 55 million, helping the country achieve what's commonly recognized as basic universal health coverage.
Because, yeah, if you're poor, that doesn't even cost
Right.
you any money, so you can go do it.
So researchers show that since the introduction of Seguro Popular in Mexico, some aspects of the country's health have improved. A study published this year in The Lancet found that Mexico's healthcare access and quality index rating rose from 49.2 in 1990 to 62.6 in 2015. This 100-point scale is a measure of citizens' access to quality healthcare. It's based on the death rates for 32 diseases that can be treated easily, including heart disease, diabetes, maternal and infant diseases, as well as diseases that can be prevented with vaccinations.
I mean, it's got to be a tremendous burden, by the way, on their universal healthcare system that there's so much sugar and so much diabetes. And
So much
of that shit
obesity,
going on.
yeah.
I'm sure that there are public health fucking announcements all the time about these foods, but there also doesn't seem to be any moves by the government to restrain the public's access to these things or
Right.
address the looming poverty crisis that leads to,
I mean, it doesn't seem like it's looming. It seems like it's just there.
well, right, I mean, it's just looming over the whole issue.
Oh, I gotcha.
So the average for all countries was 53.7. So we're talking about the
HAQ.
the hack index for the United States rose from 73.7 to 81.3. So the United States has climbed as well in terms of access, mostly due to Obamacare.
Right. Which is being deconstructed.
So a report last year by the Organization for Economic Cooperation and Development highlighted some of the specific successes of the Mexican healthcare system and also areas that still need work. In the past 10 years, the number of Mexicans who experienced impoverishing healthcare costs fell from 3.3% to 0.8%.
That's good.
A pretty vast reduction in people that were being bankrupted.
By medical bills.
Now, there's no similar rating listed for the United States, but a CDC survey found that in
Oh, it's horrible
2016,
here.
16% of Americans under 65 years old were parts of families that had trouble paying their medical bills.
Absolutely.
Wow.
So 16% to 0.8%, it's clear that Mexico is providing a broader spectrum of health services for the bottom part of
To
their
a bunch of
poor.
leeches.
What country isn't? I mean,
America.
Cuba's got better healthcare than we do.
China.
At least in that
China,
regard.
probably not. You're probably right.
I don't think Russia does that either.
So really the big superpowers of the world are the ones dragging their
Yeah,
feet on the
dragging
shit.
ass on it.
I mean, I can't. I don't know specifically about Russia, but I know in China, I don't believe they have a universal healthcare system.
I don't know anything about Chinese healthcare, so.
I know Taiwan does though.
Yep. So after Seguro Popular passed, between 2000 and 2013, infant mortality rates in Mexico dropped, falling 38% to 13 deaths per 1,000 live births. That is still over double the American rate of 5.9 deaths per live birth. So they've still got a lot of work to do there, but
Yeah.
And we're actually our infancy deaths like those we're actually viewed high compared to most other countries. Like if you compare us to Canada, unfortunately, I mean they beat us there. The French, the United Kingdom.
If you were curious about healthcare in China, I'm just going to briefly let you know that healthcare in China consists of both public and private medical institutions and insurance programs. About 95% of the population has at least basic health insurance coverage. The Chinese government is working on providing affordable basic healthcare to all residents by 2020.
that's not bad.
Yeah, so they're at least on the path of that.
They're not. It's not a universal healthcare country, but
I mean, only 5% of your population, like it's something like 60% of our population doesn't have basic health coverage or some shit.
It's insane. I mean, it's like I think it amounts to about 40 million people or something
Yeah.
that are underinsured or just don't have any coverage.
right. So China is doing better than us too in that regard. Just in case you were curious.
So, in spite of its gains in some areas, Mexico still struggles with other health-related issues. We talked a little bit about this before, but if you want to go to the next picture here, TJ.
Oh shit.
In 2012, 71%. So this is we're just trading back and forth with them. 2012, 71% of Mexicans were overweight or obese, up from 62% just 12 years earlier in 2000. In the United States, more than 70% of Americans are overweight or obese. Diabetes is also common amongst Mexicans, 16% of adults.
Is this kid eating like fucking fried Crisco and
He
fucking
looks
Cheetos
so happy about
on a
it, too.
bun?
I don't know what he's eating, but it looks delicious.
It's like he's eating fucking lard
Yeah,
with
it looks like
Cheetos
he's eating
sprinkled on top.
Cheetos.
Yeah. And
I want
on
it.
a
A
a
bun.
Cheeto and lard sandwich.
Man, that's the best sandwich.
I mean, that kid's pretty fucking fat.
The persistence.
That kid's
of,
already dead of diabetes.
Oh shit, my bad. I didn't realize.
So the life expectancy in Mexico is, if you were born in 2013, you're expected to be about 74 when you croak. In the United States, that same figure is 78. So once again, a gap of about 4 years in that stat. But I don't know, dude. It was kind of disheartening to me that, because I didn't know that Mexico had anything that would be considered to be true universal health care, but they do. Now, it's not the best that you can get in the world, but they have a
Obviously
basic
not.
safety net for the people that can't afford it.
Right. I mean, that's something, right?
What a fucking brilliant idea. If only we had some other countries think of these ideas. It's just so crazy about because in particular, we talk about the United States system. We're fine comparing to other countries when it's a negative. But a positive, and we say, oh, well, the UK has this number of people with coverage, so 99.9% of people have basic coverage. Oh, well, what about our system? And it's just astonishing that Mexico, as many problems, as much shit is talked about Mexico, well, you just said 0.8% of people with crippling medical debt. In this country, 16% of families.
Garbage.
I just don't even know. Why are we making those comparisons?
Well, with health care out of the way, regrettably, we must talk about one of Mexico's great shames. Just kidding. Let's talk about what makes Mexico pretty fucking awesome and metal. Crime.
Crime!
Crime!
You like that shit, man? Pretty good, right? You should become a patron, man. You can watch the whole thing, bro.